Laswell, send traffic.
Gas to his depot. But his mercs are prepping to move the chems into Urzikstan via convoy tonight. You're still clear to engage, but live fire on Russian military is prohibited. We cannot have an international incident.
No guarantees Russian army won't respond on this case.
Understood, Alex. Just locate the gas, comment to your Barkov's trucks, and get off the X before the tide turns.
Copy, Watcher. We'll handle it.
Call of Duty has been a staple of gaming for over a decade now, remaining among the best-selling games each year since the release of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare back in 2007. While its revolutionary take on FPS multiplayer is what put the franchise into this position, I've always felt the unsung hero was the campaign, particularly in Infinity Ward's Modern Warfare series. This year we see a return to that series, and by the power of Grayskull they did not disappoint, producing possibly the greatest campaign in Call of Duty history. This story holds nothing back. It makes you feel uncomfortable, horrified, tense, and on edge almost every step of the way. It brings the thrills of a successful stealth mission, the lows of your characters facing defeat. It brings it all. After that, I feel it's pretty needless to say that the writing is superb. Each of the four main characters has an established reason to be there, all stemming from different backgrounds but coming together to form this squad to get the job done. But no story, no matter how well it is written, can truly thrive without the right performances. I'm glad to report that the acting is outstanding, especially from the beloved Captain Price. His return to the franchise was a fantastic decision on Infinity Ward's part. His charm, his power, his will to succeed is all incredibly portrayed. You feel what these people are feeling, even though it's Call of Duty, the infamous bro shooter.
All stations. Warm is clear.
Having each character have a unique background really brings life to the campaign. The way that they interact with each other or the way they approach a problem adds a sense of realism you don't often find with the stereotypical Soldier 1 and Soldier 2 save the day plot. Gameplay I'm not going to dive too deep into, it's COD. While they do mix up what you do with that gameplay a lot more than the other entries, the fundamentals are still the same as they have been since the franchise's birth. There are multiple stealth sequences that will have you leaning forward in your chair, listening as carefully as you can to make sure you don't get caught out from behind. I successfully took out an entire complex without raising any alarm, and I can tell you that was the most invigorating moments I've had from a first-person shooter. Graphically, however, this game is stunning. Very rarely do games manage to properly capture the true atmosphere of a nighttime setting without making everything pitch black. Modern Warfare has the moonlight peering through the tree lines, just about providing enough light for you to navigate without your night vision. Explosions, set pieces, the sound design and confusion as you are mid-firefight, it all looks and sounds incredible. I won't sit here and say it's the best looking game ever, because it isn't, but it certainly is pretty. Now finally, I get to some of the negatives. I really didn't have many. With all the realism, the gut-wrenching and uncomfortable moments, the perfectly acted character development, there was still the odd mission that felt way too Call of Duty. I realise this is an odd thing to say, given that it is Call of Duty, but I just felt it was out of place. Everything else felt so intentional and methodical that when you just all of a sudden turn into Rambo and lay waste to 4 million people, you were left wondering where the hell that came from, and how are there so many people in this army? Within that same point, there are a couple of missions that felt very similar to each other, which for me personally is a very small gripe, but I know for others that will be a much bigger issue. That being said, I think the Modern Warfare campaign is a prestigious example of how Call of Duty campaigns should be going forward. Gone are the days of one soldier rules them all, slaughtering people by the thousands. Instead, a squad of developed badass characters who you believe can and want to win this war.
hospital is at the end of the road.
Half a click. I'll be hoofing it with the Marines.
Echo 3-1.